Hey there guys, I am the Six Machine and welcome back to another Warhammer video. Today is the turn of the Kroot, those lovable, totally innocent, friendly, non-carnivorous auxiliary units of the T'au Empire, and they just... wait. What? They eat people? They literally eat people? I mean, yeah, I guess in the grand scheme of things, in the 40k universe that isn't all that bad really, but still, that just sounds horrible. Eating people aside, in any case, we are looking at the Kroot today, and it seems that it is now possible to have a full Kroot army in this new codex. Personally, I imagine it will be a bit like the Sisters of Silence for the Custodes and be not quite as freeform as you might hope, and a bit restricted in terms of what exactly you can mix and match and bring alongside a main T'au detachment, but still, it is a pretty cool new change. And as for the Kroot themselves, they have also had a bit of a glow up. From their current profile, they have gained a point of strength going to a base of 4, and also an extra attack, pushing them to 2 attacks instead of just 1. And when you consider that they are still, I believe from the leaks, the same 6 points, that is a genuinely nice little bump to their damage output for essentially no charge. And on top of that, their Kroot rifle has also had a bit of a boost, losing the +1 strength, but of course that's now baked into your profile, and instead gaining -1 AP, so you will now be swinging with 2 attacks at strength 4, -1 AP at weapon skill 3. Nothing super terrifying, but for a 6-point model that isn't a terrible bit of damage, all things considered. Where the real fun begins though is with the much improved Kroot Shapers, who are now in the HQ slot, which is where your all Kroot army really comes into play, and they also come now with their own unique set of 3 Warlord traits to help make them even better HQs. Pack Leader is a pretty funky little 6-inch aura which you can take, and this allows you to roll an extra dice and discard one of them for your charge rolls for units within range, so you can now be rolling 3d6 and taking the 2 highest, giving you a much better chance of making even those slightly riskier 8 or 9-inch charges with your Kroot units. And then another benefit for your army if you want to bring a lot of Kroot along is the new Kroot pack rule, which means that for each unit of Kroot carnivores in your list, you can bring a unit of Krootox riders, Kroot hounds, and a Kroot shaper without using up an army slot, which means you can, rule of 3 dependent of course, really spam out a load of these Kroot units to build a decent and sizable army, while still leaving the majority of your detachment slots open for the shootier T'au units like battlesuits and tanks. And what this does is if you want to bring a mixed list with, the battlesuits and the fire warriors and the Kroot as well, you have a really decent chance to get all of that brilliant powerful firepower while still running a solid sizable force of Kroot, if that's what you want to do. The final thing they show off in the previews today is the Grizzly Feast stratagem for the Kroot, which is a very nice, very cheap 1 CP, and is used when a Kroot unit destroys an enemy unit in the fight phase, and then until the end of the battle, that unit of Kroot has a 5-up wound shrug, which is a very, very powerful effect for 1 CP, although of course it does have to be said, it is hampered a bit by the fact that it can only be used after you've killed an enemy unit. And so realistically, it's not going to be until turn 2 or probably turn 3 that you get this thing going. So it is still nice for keeping, that unit of Kroot alive until the end of the game if you need them to sit on an objective for turns 4 or 5, for example, and make sure they don't die. But it's definitely not a stratagem I can imagine you completely building your battle plan around or abusing in any real way. So there we go, some very cool new buffs for the Kroot, and I have to say personally as an Orc player, the Kroot Carnivore looks really, really good value for 6 points. If you compare them to something like the Chaos Marine, even at the new reduced points cost in Chapter Approved, or an Orc Boy, they get a genuinely solid amount of damage output and mobility on the table for that cost. So I can very much see a Kroot heavy force being maybe not top table competitive, but at least a very nasty little trick to play against your opponents that might not be expecting it. But what do you think of these new rules? Will you be adding any Kroot to your T'au lists, or are they still a bit too much of a gimmick for any real use? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe for more Warhammer content from me, but until next time, I'll catch you later, guys.